The Backrooms movie is set to release this May, and it's shaping up to be one of the most interesting horror-style releases of 2026. There is a lot of stuff up in the air about the film, though. Its Wikipedia page is small, its IMDb page is unfinished, and in general, not a whole lot's known about it. We only just got the first trailer the other day. One of the most important aspects to me, as I'm sure it is for some of you, is the music. The Backrooms is known for pioneering the internet popularity of liminal spaces, which in turn has created a whole new genre of liminal music. This has left many fans wondering whether the official Backrooms movie will feature this amazing musical style or be reduced to a generic orchestral score. But what if I told you that this wasn't up in the air? What if I told you we already know what the Backrooms movie soundtrack will sound like? Although the Backrooms started as internet lore with a 4chan post in 2019, the true story really kicked off in 2022 when Kane Parsons, better known as Kane Pixels, started his internet horror short film series. Parsons is the director of the official Backrooms film, something extremely important to keep in mind. Throughout those 3 years, though, liminal spaces began developing as a unique genre of internet subculture. I remember when liminal space compilations first began to surface on YouTube. It was fascinating to say the least, and it still is, but I was especially hooked by the music that would accompany these videos. These liminal space content creators would typically play songs like Instupendo's 647 or the Caretaker's It's Just a Burning Memory. Anyone who was in communities like this at the time probably remembers these songs. Since then, it's become a total phenomenon. Spotify even has a specifically curated liminal playlist full of the best liminal style songs from the best liminal artists, like Oneheart, Infinity Frequencies, No Love in the House of Gold, and then of course, the Caretaker and Instupendo. Personally, I really want the Backrooms movie to sound just like this. I think a standard string and horn stereotypical film soundtrack just would not work here. I don't think I'm alone either. With this massive popularity of liminal music, it'd be disappointing if the real official film didn't sound liminal enough. Well, rest assured, fellow Backrooms enthusiasts, this is exactly what the film's music will sound like. Now, you may be wondering how I know that, especially with such limited info available online. I've curated my Spotify algorithm to really only show me small artists. I love supporting them and writing reviews on them here on this channel. But there was one person I didn't expect to find as a quote-unquote small artist. Kane Parsons himself. That's right, Mr. Backrooms, the found footage man, has a Spotify artist profile with 11 full albums and only 40,000 monthly listeners. I'd love to get to know each and every one of these albums sometime, but for now I'm focusing on 3 of them. The Backrooms Official Scores, Volumes 1 to 3. Did you even know Kane Pixels found footage videos had music? I'd seen quite a few of them and never really realized. These are the official songs used in the real, actual found footage videos posted on his own channel. Now, knowing this, with the lore dump out of the way, we can dive right into the albums. The first album of Kane's series is what I'd consider the most normal. It's definitely still strange at times, but as a whole, it's a lot more listenable than the other two. They kind of progress, getting more strange as the series goes on, understandably so. This first album is also where we're introduced to many of the repeated themes and leitmotifs of the series. Volume 1 has a pretty strong start. Government funding, the opener, is a solid way to kick off the soundtrack. It was used in Backrooms The Third Test, which I learned about from the wiki. I'll list out some of the notable usages of the songs, but if you want to see where each one is used, I'll link the wiki page with it below. This song perfectly captures that liminal, almost 80s sounding eerie feeling. It reminds me a bit of the Stranger Things soundtrack almost. A lot of these songs do, actually. It's a pretty similar style. Government funding is later reused in several songs as a leitmotif as well. The next track, Pipes, is also reused later. It's much weirder than the previous song, with this scattered synth bell instrument and also with the fact that it introduces the motif of this sliding dissonant reed instrument you'll hear in a lot of songs. Number 3, You're Done, parentheses, Daisy Bell, interpolates, as you'd expect, the Daisy Bell song. A creepy version of this song went around alongside Uncanny Valley or liminal videos on YouTube around the time this stuff was getting popular. I love the way the distorted synth bass or chord pad rises in the background until it drowns everything out. It's so ominous. Glacier isn't too special, but it's a very nice, pretty normal song. It sounds like some of Oneheart's lighter songs. Missing Persons is ominous as well, used in the Kane Parsons video of the same name. There's this instrument about 2.5 minutes in that I swear C418 has used in his DF album. It sounds identical. Track 6, Auditory Guidepost, isn't very listenable for the first minute, as it's just a repeated ding noise. I'm sure it fits amazingly in its respective video though. The rest of the song is cool too. The Complex is a long and ominous one. It changes up quite a bit, and you'll probably forget that you're still listening to the same song. KV31 isn't actually used in any of Kane's videos, at least according to the wiki right now. It's a sick, progressing, dark synth track. I don't have much to say about Deeper Than the Walls either, except for the fact that the instrument around 246 sounds straight out of Terraria. Sealed Away sounds like the song School Rooftop by Hisohkah, and it very well could have been inspired by it, since the latter came out in 2020, while the former was in 2022. Post-Traumatic Amnesia is one of my personal favorites off of Volume 1. A progressive, melancholy, soft synth track with some choir elements thrown in the background fits really well here, and I'm disappointed that it isn't in any videos. Track 12, Not Your Decision, reuses the government funding leitmotif. This and the next two songs, The Only Thing That Matters (demo) and Async Research Institute, are also not featured in any videos. I really wish Async Research Institute were, but I'm glad I can at least listen to it myself. It's really cool and reversey with some great bit crushing. Hazmat, the last track, isn't too memorable to me. I'd give Volume 1 an 8 out of 10. Moving on to Volume 2, let me just say that I love the color of this album cover. Volume 2 is a bit stranger than the first, like I said, but it's definitely still a great album on its own. The first track, Person, is a reused leitmotif from Sealed Away on Volume 1. It's unsettlingly peaceful, nailing the liminal vibe. Malignant is definitely weird, and it's very reminiscent of some horror scene Stranger Things songs. Instances is another, instance of the government funding leitmotif, this time super ambientified. I love this one a lot. Compromises has that sliding techno reed sound again, very ominous as usual. Please Do Not Speak is a total non sequitur from it though, lighthearted and floaty. Non-Disclosure Agreement is 5 minutes of shimmery, mystically evil ambience. Time Passages is a welcome song on this album. As the 7th track, it's almost a kind of interlude. It's used in Parsons' home_27647.mov video, and it sounds like if the rest of the album's songs were turned into an advertisement. Remember and Data Not Accessible are two more tracks that just work really well as standalone music. I'd totally come back to both of these. And now, I want to talk about Old Objects in Quiet Rooms. It's one of the most interesting songs on here purely due to how varied it is. A lot of these songs follow the liminal song formula. Make something simple, loop it, and slightly change it as it goes on. But this one is what I would call a sound canvas. It's super unique and shifting. A good chunk of it is just ambient noise, lights humming and static, that kind of stuff, typical Backrooms. It's filled with intermittent sections that either sound like the most dread-inducing synth chords you've ever heard, or something straight out of a Caretaker song. Old-sounding piano recordings and other distorted instruments in here make me incredibly excited to potentially hear a song like this in the movie. And then with A Passage, we're right back to chill one-heart bells and great instrumentals. The tracks Distant and Ghost are more eerie and not very memorable to me, but then Department of Energy hooks me all over again. It's this denoised sounding, dropout-filled, light-pitched percussion melody that swells into waterlogged synths and just ebbs and flows for 4 minutes. And then finally, Congratulations, Ivan, the closer. This one's a great closer. It gives an unsettling sense of completion, as if you survived but you'll never be the same. There's this bit-crushed bird ambience, faraway xylophone sounds, and lush synth horns in here. I'd call it one of my favorites from this album. My rating for this one is a 9 out of 10, and I think it's my favorite one overall as an album. Volume 3 opens pretty strongly with The Reason, and the next track, Tunnel Vision, is a darker, faster one that I like. Track 3, though, is especially interesting. It's 10 minutes long, the longest one on here. I really love this one. I'm pretty sure it's a super ambient fusion of both the government funding leitmotif and the Sealed Away leitmotif. I can definitely hear Sealed Away, but the beginning sounds like government funding. I'm not sure right now. It keeps progressing as it goes on, like any traditional liminal song, and it adds these cool panning synths. It's a very slow build and is great for putting on in the background while working or driving. Midwestern Trauma Light has some parts about 4.5 minutes in that sound like a Caretaker song again. Distorted old string melodies that are pretty haunting. Survey is comparatively short and again sounds like a Stranger Things conflict song. It has the same kind of bird noises as Congratulations Ivan, but this one isn't actually used in any of Kane's videos, unlike that one. Threshold is full of these big, foreboding synth drones and the sliding reed synths again. It's not my favorite, but it still fits the eerie vibe really well. I can respect the music without enjoying it. You know what I mean? The 7th track, Off the Deep End, is a repurposing of the song Pipes from Volume 1, like I said, just with some different things added. Then, track 8, Rest Forever in This Dead End. I love this one so much. It deserves the Studio Favorite Award for this album. I think it might even be my favorite across all 3 albums. That's why it deserves the award so much. It starts with almost 4 minutes of lonely, soft piano music, gradually swelling to have these shakers and either a ukulele or some Asian string instrument plucks that sound straight out of C418's Minecraft soundtracks. It's such a beautiful, long progression, and I would totally get lost in the backrooms to this. The next 2 tracks, Still Life and Still Life Part 2, are also really solid ones. The first part is another one of my favorites from the album. Really scattered saxophone-sounding music. The second part really takes the first song and makes it weirder around the middle, but it's still pretty cool. All of these past 3 tracks were used in Backrooms Found Footage 3, which makes it a really strong video music-wise. The third to last track, this one, translates to gas stove in Chinese for some reason. I don't really like this one. It's almost 8 minutes of the same looping dissonant bonk noise. Dissonant bonk noise is something I never thought I'd talk about in a music review. I'm not a fan of Do You Like Air Conditioning either. It's a funny name though. It's the culmination of the scattered reed instruments, and it's just this ear-blasting chaos wave. Props to Kane for making it, but I'm not coming back to this one. The album ends really nicely though, with Red Sun in the Sky, something that I feel like I'd hear in a space exploration game at night. No Man's Sky or Lethal Company vibes. In general, I feel like the albums got more polarizing as they went along. I felt pretty nice about most Volume 1 songs. I either liked or disliked Volume 2's a lot more, and nearly everything from Volume 3 is either some of my most or least favorite music from the entire series. Just like number 1, I'm giving Volume 3 an 8 out of 10. So what does this mean for the film? Well, it seems like there is a high possibility that Kane will compose his own soundtrack for the Backrooms movie, or maybe even reuse some of these songs. If this does happen, it would mean that these 3 albums are the palette of what the real film's soundtrack will be like. It's our sample, our taste of the awesome liminal vibes that we could get from the Backrooms movie. Remember, Kane only has 40,000 listeners right now on Spotify. For someone so well known in the online community, that is surprising. He makes great music for his found footage, and I really want to get into his other projects. I'm pretty sure he recently dropped a new single or something. I'll have to listen to it. If someone as popular as him can make amazing music and just go totally unnoticed on Spotify, just think of how many other people who aren't well known have gotten screwed over by the algorithm. That's where we come in, the Small Artists Initiative. We support and share artists with under 100,000 monthly listeners by featuring them in music review videos just like this one. If you know of some underrated artists, leave a comment below. Or if you make music and you're pretty small as well, you can fill out the Google form on our channel homepage to join the initiative and potentially get your music reviewed. So go forth, my Backrooms fans, listen to this soundtrack and keep exploring new sounds. Thanks for watching.